Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. Cherry, good to see you. I had to watch the 72 video. Thank you. I've gotten such a good response out of that video. I just had no idea. I greet you all with the love and honor of the infinite creator. I continue to pray for each and every one of you that you will accept and receive the knowledge, the healing, and the wisdom of the universe, and that you will continue to share it. Now, with that as my starting opening line, I did a video like a half hour ago. One reason I'm a little late starting this, I had to get a sandwich and some fresh coffee so I could do what I'd already scheduled. But it was interesting that it ticked me off so bad about how this radio program, and there were four different people on that particular program just an hour or so ago, and how they were putting down baby boomers. All baby boomers fit this thing. Blessings back, Cherry. The milk cow, blessings to you, and hoping you're having a good evening. So I'd already titled this video because while I was out on the river last night, and I did a video when I got back off the river about this 4-foot gator chased a 2-foot gar and landed right in my chest and in the middle of the kayak. And I mean, talk about surprises out of nowhere, but I don't want to get onto that. But in that, I replay things and like, okay, Spirit sends me messages in different ways. And I get what I call my angel messages or my spirit guide. As my Hawkeye Two Feathers, I was initiated, if you will, with my Native American name of Hawkeye Two Feathers as part of my shaman training and so forth and that kind of thing. Anyway, but I realized that I did that video, just pissed me off, go live. I mean, literally that fast, that it actually ties in to the topic that I had already planned for this evening. And that was the revolution of sanity. Now, most of us, are aware of the insanity on this planet that's going around. And I put revolution in the title for a reason. It gets certain, algorithms with YouTube and the net and so forth like that. But revolution of sanity. Now, with this idea of truth seekers, for those of us who are seeking the truth and seeking knowledge, seeking natural understandings, seeking a higher level of understanding spiritualness, if you will, we first have to, there's insanity in the untruth and the obfuscations that they've done for the Bible, for example. Pick one. One of the things that's just come out about the Pope. Now, I'm an ex-Catholic, and I can chew this guy out up and down all you want to. I've been pedophiled by 4 priests. I got a right to talk about this. I graduated Tampa Catholic in 1970. This has nothing to do with Tampa Catholic or the people that I went to school with. The institution was great. I still have great friends at Tampa Catholic, and I don't know how they're doing now, but back then, these folks, they're still my family. And so I'm speaking about the absurdness, the parallel universe that goes on. So all these people, all these years I talked about Father McCarthy and the fact that he was healing up little boys. And nobody, oh, no, that can't be true. Oh, it can't be true. All of us boys who had been pedophiled by this priest, because he was a priest, everybody just shut it off. Now, for example, so my reason about this is that now the Pope is declaring he's changed the Catholic version of the Lord's Prayer. Why? He doesn't think it's adequate. It's been adequate for all these years, and he's got to change the words. How about even if I was still a Catholic, wouldn't I have a vote in this and go, wait a minute, I'm sorry, Pope, is that true? You're a Jesuit, and Jesuits Jesuits aren't part of the Catholic Church. Check it out. So here's this Jesuit who can't even be a Roman Catholic because he's a Jesuit, is the Pope, who ain't a Pope. He's the mayor of Rome, and he's changing the quote, the prayers of all Catholics. Now, I've been pissed off since 1969, 1970, when these priests started doing their little fondly thingy. I didn't realize it before that, but it started actually earlier than that. But the fact that here's this one guy decides, and he himself ain't too good on the pedophilia thing. That's why they got him out of Argentina. That's why he got his buddy out of Argentina. It's insane what they've done and the lies they have told us. So this revolution right now is a revolution for sanity. The revolution is, wait a minute, the Catholics all over the place go, wait, now, I was a little kind of on the edge here, and now the Pope declares that a couple of years ago, he said that if Catholics, I had an old Catholic Bible, and I gave it to a friend of mine. But in that old Catholic Bible, it reads so easy. It's so much easier to read and understand than the King James Version. And I've done videos on this, so I'm not going to go into that. But there's so much proof, and you can go online to these different Bible studies and look at the different versions of the Bible and check and see where they have made one guy interprets it this way. Well, for example, they changed the word adore to worship. And it's like, I've told people before, I adore my grandmother, but I don't worship her. So they changed a simple word from adore, and you can say, well, worship, adore, it's the same. No, it ain't. But so in all of this, now every church you go by, it's come worship with us. Not come adore the Lord with us, but no, come worship with us. They changed the whole paradigm of everything. They have turned what was sane into insanity. The Pope now, a couple of years ago, they had the new Catholic Bible. There was absolutely nothing wrong with the old Catholic Bible. But the Pope made a statement, which to me is insanity. You all must throw away your old Catholic Bibles and get new ones, because this is the true word of God. Now, it says in Revelations in the last chapter, he who changes the word of God in this book, the Bible, will be written out of the tree of life for all eternity. I'm paraphrasing right there, but wait a minute. So he's changed the Bible, and now he's changing, quote, the Lord's Prayer for the Catholics. That's insanity. Now, if there wasn't a revolt for sanity before, the Catholics that were kind of sitting on the fence are really pissed off right now, because they're changing the words, they're changing the inflections, they're trying to include all people. If it was good enough for 1,000 years, why ain't it good enough now? Oh, well, because he decided, get this, he decided that it was best. And his not verdict. There's a Latin word of any cheese. Something. Anyway, it's his proclamation. Can't think of it. Anyway, that now all Catholics must now recite the new version of the Lord's Prayer. That's insanity. You're trying to keep people in the faith, and then you turn around and say, sorry, that prayer is no good anymore. If you say it like that, you're out of order. And if you're a Catholic and you understand that, it's basically if you're against the Pope and what he says, hey, Max Vision, good to see you back. If you go against the Pope, then actually you're committing a venial sin, because he made a declaration, a proclamation, and a doctrine. Here's the new words to the Lord's Prayer. And if you don't follow this, then you're basically sinning against the Catholic Church, which means you're sinning against God. And because he, as Pope, is supposed to be the representative, the Antichrist, on earth here, and our representative, spiritual leader, are you nuts? If anything, what he's doing is he's separating the church. there are so many Catholics, like I said, sitting on the fence that ain't they're ticked. They are thoroughly pissed. There are a lot of them, us baby boomers who don't know squat, that have our old Bibles and are perfectly happy. The wisdom and the knowledge and the insight from my old Catholic Bible. I've read the new one. It's like, it looks like a kid wrote it. A teenager, oh, we have to make it easy for everybody to understand. It was easy before. You're the ones that complicated the issue. So now, instead of trying to unite the Catholic Church, you've actually done two things and now just recently, and last week, there was a comment rolling around that the Pope said, oh, guess what? Jesus ain't coming. So how in the hell, as a spiritual leader of the planet, and all of these other groups look towards the Pope, trust me, even Islam reports to the Pope in the Vatican, people say, oh, no, that's not true. Bull. Y'all need to do your homework if you think there's anything else going on. So my point of saying the revolution of sanity, we've got to bring sanity back into our lives, because this guy who claims to be the Pope, and if you understand Catholic tradition, he's not the Pope. He's the mayor of Rome. He's standing in. And because he's a Jesuit, he cannot be the Pope. A few weeks back, there was this big deal where most folks go up and kiss his ring. They told him, you can't do that anymore. Oh, and so it was like, here's my ring. It was like, nope, you can't kiss it. And people were going, what? It's insanity. What we need back is this revolution. And I'm not even going to call it the truth movement, because there are people trying to tell the truth, like I did my previous video. These guys are truth seekers, and they're open-minded, and they're bashing all people who are baby boomers, their parents, their grandparents, and instead of trying to bring folks together tonight, I mean, I'm going to unsubscribe for their channel. That's how mad I am about this, because they're helping to tear apart what those of us like me, we're trying to bring people together. Let's talk about things. There's more to this story than you just see out there. Listen to somebody who's been there, seen it, experienced it. I've talked with priests and nuns, both who have left their orders because the Catholic Church and the Vatican crapped on them. And because of the pedophilia, they tried to stop in the late 60s and 70s. They left their orders. I know some of these people. I actually smoked weed when I graduated Tampa Catholic. It was 71 or 72, but walking along on the beach smoking a joint with the next priest, teacher of mine from Tampa Catholic. He's like, I had to leave. I couldn't stand it anymore. And so it's like, I've had conversations with people who thought their whole life was nothing more than to be a priest and a teacher, and they were so disgruntled with what went on, they left their orders. And now people say, well, Dave, you don't really know what you're talking about. What? Okay. I'm part of the idiot group. I'm part of that group that doesn't know what we're talking about. We're stupid, don't know anything about computers. And instead of trying to pull all age groups, all ethnicities, my aunt is 80 plus years old, and she still uses a computer, but she's older than me. I'm sorry, I think she was like 14 when I was born or something. So, but to the point though, wait a minute, hang on here. She knows stuff. She still does. She still has one. She was in the banking industry for 35 years. And what? She don't count? The knowledge that she has, what wisdom she does have. Now, she's a fairly simple person, but she knows. She was doing email. She turned me on to Netflix. I'm like, well, wait a minute here. So all of us older folks are just a bunch of dummies. Okay, enough of that. But my point to this is the people who seem to be yapping the most about bringing people together are actually creating more disharmony. It's more insanity. And I'm saying I want to call these people out. Now, I should name some names right here, but I'm not going to. But it's easy to find last 2 hours of what was live on YouTube. And but you know, I'll leave it to other folks for that. But as a baby boomer, I was horribly offended. Did it bring me to their channel? Nope. I'm going to unsubscribe, and I'm going to suggest my friends blackball them people. Why? Because they're spitting out just as much fear porn and just as much negativity as they claim they're trying to solve. It, what? Oh, but we're not working for the man. We're not doing this. But we can talk bad about all these people that they don't really understand. And if they would give a damn about other folks, I give them the benefit of the doubt. But would they give me the benefit of the doubt? And I mean my age group. Would they give? No, because they were like, all baby boomers are trash. That is insanity. And they're the truth movement. Then I'm going to give you some truth. The truth is those people ain't got a clue. They're just as insane as the rest of them. They've become narcissistic to think that only their vision is what's true. Now, my point of these videos is to like bring out some of this insanity and say, look, y'all make up your own mind about this. I'm not saying, am I right about everything? Probably not. But the thing is I want to stimulate your thoughts. Now, to those who, have subscribed and have come over from Dante's channel, what Dante does is create thought. Now, there's been a couple of comments like, I support him, this and that. Listen, I support anyone who's going to make me think. I'm going to support anybody who gives me information that I didn't know about, or that maybe I had an inkling of information and now here's more. So but these people who automatically trash me because I'm in an age group that they don't subscribe to or ascribe to, or, hang on here. Wait a minute. The whole idea is we need to find the truth. We need to find the sanity in all of this flipping chaos. And every time you turn around, somebody's going to try to twist it. Now, I've been very consistent. My views on the Pope and the Catholic Church go through my old videos if you'd like. And I've not been nice. I've been quite frank and in bringing out some of and I've named priests' names. But yes, it's back in the late 60s and early 70s, but these people still committed crimes against children, and then I find out later on, because I spoke up, there are other people coming out of the closet going, he did the same thing to me. Actually, he did more, but I don't want to talk about it. You're kidding. Nope. Guess what? So there's this underlying sanity. It's those of us who have been talking about this, but the rest of the people in the church are going, oh, he's a priest. He couldn't do that. And I'm doing this because they've got their head above something and can't see what's below. Well, oh, he's a priest. He's not pedophiling kids. All the kids are going, help us, help us. Well, no, but he's a priest. He can't do any harm to you. He's a priest. He took a vow. Help us, help us. Insanity. We need to bring the sanity back. Now, to tie this in after 20 minutes, I can't believe I've rattled on this long. I hope I'm making some sense. We need to bring people together, regardless of their views. Now, I'm going to unsubscribe to these guys because I'm sorry. They really struck a nerve that they need to see their numbers drop. And I'm going to put in the comment section, I'm going to be polite. I have unsubscribed to your channel because I am a baby boomer. And all of the people I have referred to your channel, I'm going to ask that they unsubscribe to. Bingo. Just leave it at that. I'm a baby boomer. Go back and listen to what you all said to all of this huge group. I want to bring sanity back to people. Should I have to sit and listen to these 4 guys beat me up when they don't know me or my friends or those of us from this age group? No, that's insanity. So should I support these guys? No. They have a difference of opinion, yeah, but they could make a general statement in that there are a lot of baby boomers who have caused this problem. I agree. There are a lot of baby boomers but to say that all baby boomers, sorry, I need to move on. It really pissed me off. I'm sorry. So where does this come in with the spiritualism? Well, here's one of the things that bothers me, and I'm going to use the Catholic Church for example right now, and the Pope, because there are a lot of folks who follow what the Pope says and does. If he was trying to bring in unity, would he have changed the Bible? If he was trying to bring unity within the church and spirituality, would he have changed the word of God where it says right in the Bible, any man who does is going to be written out? So he didn't even read his own damn Bible. He's not even up to date with his own Bible. So he went the opposite of what the Lord said in his own book and turned it against all of the Catholics and said, if you read your old Bible, you're sinning. You got to get the new one. Now, was that for money? Probably. Was that for donations? But it was also to change a mindset of people. So all of us baby boomers who have our old Bibles and read them religiously and continue to get good information out of it, now we can't do that because they have decided to change it, to update it, to make it easier to read. It wasn't hard to read before. In 1968, I was standing in front of a congregation 3 to 4 times every Sunday reading from the Bible as a commentator. I was stood up. I read the epistles. I read the gospels. I did this sometimes 3 and 4 times every Sunday because they couldn't get a commentator. And I was there from the previous Mass and they go, Dave, can you fill in? Well, what the hell, right? I'm already there. You wait 30 minutes and you go through another Mass. I did this religiously growing up. I have been reading the Bible in front of congregations since I was 14, 15 years old. Okay. Now, I'm not trying to like, woo, look how good I am. That's not it. But people say, well, you don't really know what you're talking about. You don't know me. So how therefore can you judge me if you don't know what my history is? Did you go to Most Holy Redeemer Catholic Church and sit there? There were people who remember me reading the gospel today. I remember you up there, Dave. You were only 14 or 15 years old and you were standing up there and people remarked about how well I could project. The Lord gave me the gift of gab, as my aunt would say, and I should have been a politician. Or I should have been a preacher. Well, I wanted to become a priest, and then my sister Aline advised me against it and asked me to go study Buddha, which I have done. She said, you are a spirit. Now, this was in 1970. She said, you are a spiritual being, and you should seek spiritual things. And the Catholic Church is all about the church and not about spiritual things. Now, let's back up with that a little bit. Now, I've been to Baptist churches and Methodist church. I've got a dear friend of mine who is an Episcopal priest. At the age of like 68, she went back to school to become an Episcopalian priest. And like, oh holy cow. But the thing, so I know folks who have been, are some of the folks with the theater group that I was involved in for so many years. He was an Episcopal, yes, an Episcopalian minister, and him and his wife, lovely people. And so I've been on both sides of this, and even from their standpoint, it's like, how can we? I've had conversations with ministers, and up front, sitting there with a glass of whiskey, going, "Well, what do you think, Padre?" And it's like, "Well, I preach this, but I don't think anybody's paying attention. They don't want to hear the message." And since that time, he retired from being a priest and just goes around and fills in and such. But he couldn't take it anymore. He was like, I'm preaching and I'm trying to read the Word of God. And of all the ministers I knew, he was like, I would go and listen to him because he spoke from his heart and not from his religion. Whereas too many other people speak from their religion and not from their heart. Not from, when a Catholic priest talks, it's all about the Catholic Church. Well, save your soul. Yeah, because, you get points if he saves your soul. Everything is written in this and that. It's all some kind of jumbled up crap. The revolution right now, call it the truth movement. I don't want to even get on there. But I am going to say that this is a sanity movement. We all want to know our past, our history, because we've been lied to. Now, I know there are people out there, oh, the Anunnaki, oh, these people and that people and this stuff and that stuff. There's so many different stories, but people will latch on to one and say, that's it. That's the only answer. That's the only thing. There is no other version to this story but that one. Now, I've been speaking quite some time about the shaman point of view, and that, people are talking about the matrix and this. Well, I've spoken about the Spider Woman matrix, that the universe is connected with these spider webs, and there are these enormous type creatures in the universe that keep all these spider webs, and it's not like they attack and kill. No, they're menders, they're tenders, And so recently it's come out that, guess what? NASA, scientists, these other folks have been taking x-rays of the universe. And guess what showed up? A spider web. Now, they might have seen the spider, but there are both types, but it's the mother tender, the mother spider, if you will, the Spider Woman story. It goes back in Native American stories that goes millennia, okay, thousands of years, whatever that is. Century, no, that's still thousands of years. And I was very good friends with a legend keeper from the Tlingit tribe in Alaska. We would sit down, have dinner together, and he would tell me stories about how, the raven brought to the planet, and how, the giant turtle, and just unbelievable, which describes Pangea in a way, and just so many things and even the stories now from the Tlingit tribe they're oral. You can't write them down, you can't record them, you can't videotape. But the oral tradition is now accepted by the legislature in Alaska. They passed a law and said, yes, their oral tradition even, is valid as history for Alaska. Now, so I've listened to him, but now there are other parts of the world, and I will bring up Dante, because from what I've learned from all the Native American histories and things, and I'm still studying, but what I've learned from Kashka and the Tlingit tribe and old traditions in Alaska and Northwest and Cherokee and other, but some of these traditions, there are a lot of correlations with places on the other side of the planet, north and south of the equator. So it's like, well, but none of this could have existed. Why? Well, because, that's a legend, or that's a myth. Is it? Is it really a myth? Or is it that somebody's obfuscated the truth because they really didn't want to tell you the whole story? Now, why do I'm bringing this up? Because if the Pope changed the Bible and all the Catholics did their due diligence and threw their old Catholic Bibles out, so the next generation in 40 years will only have this new version to go by. They won't know what the old Bible actually said, because they will be obliterated. I mean, there'll still be copies, but to the general public of Catholics, they will all have the brand new shiny one. They'll all be saying the new Lord's Prayer. What happened to 2,000 years of history? 2,000 years of, the word just went right by me. Tradition, Oh, sorry, this guy named Francis, who is a bastard, and took Saint Francis, who was my patron saint, because he lived in the woods. They were gonna burn this guy at the stake at one point because he was curing people with medicinal plants. Ooh, and people were coming to him, and they started an order. He didn't want the Franciscans. He didn't want an order named after him. The papacy was literally going to crucify him, and the papacy was going to crucify him because, look, I don't want nothing to do with this political crap. So they turned it political against the wishes of St. Francis of Assisi, the original one, and turned it into a religion. And now this Jesuit, who isn't even Roman Catholic, swipes his name. So if you understand, that's like the biggest slap in the face you could do. I mean, took the guy that was most revered for children and animals and curing and things, and this faker took that man's identity. And look at me, I'm St. Francis, like the guy from before, and it's the polar opposite. So in 40 years, if there's a Catholic religion, if there's anybody that'll believe in any of that, they won't have the same information I did growing up. It'll be different. It'll be obfuscated. They've already obfuscated. They've already told people, get rid of your old one, take the new one, because this is the word of God. Why wasn't that? So who committed the sin here? The guy who changed it, or those of us who prefer to say, screw you, I'm not going to read your new book. I'm going to stick with the old one because I like it. And it was the original word of God before you decided to change it and make the rest of us change. It says right there in the Bible, don't do it. What has this got to do with shamanism? Now, in my previous videos, I've stated, and I will state again, anyone who's trying to seek a higher level of spirituality is a shaman. It isn't, shamanism has nothing to do with going out and dancing around a fire and stuff like that. Now, there are shamans who do that. I know that there are certain Native American traditions and so forth, and things that I've learned over the many, many years with shamans and medicine men, I might add. I refused to do any type of ceremony until I was sure, and I checked in with a medicine man or other shaman. Is this okay? Don't want to upset the natural order of things, right? Don't want to go say a prayer and do the ceremony wrong. The last thing I want to do is mess things up, right? So I want to do things correctly. And I continue to study. I continue to ask for guidance in these things. So with the shaman part, though, anyone who is seeking a higher vibrational field, and right now a lot of people out there with the event and you know, higher vibrations, third and fourth dimension change, blah, blah, blah. It seems like we are all searching for the same thing. And we are. We're searching for the truth. We're searching for sanity. Now, I went out on the river last night and out on the lake, and I'm searching for sanity from the universe. Help me to understand what the natural world is, and how can I convey this to other people? Show me, help me, give me a sign, and then a giant fish jumps in my boat in the middle of the night, scared the crap out of me. So it's like, be prepared. Stuff will jump out of the night. So, you know, you can get sideswiped by things that'll, you know, when you least expect it. It's how we deal with it. So now the Pope is doing these things. He's creating more insanity within his own group. Now, I'm saying to Catholics and anybody anywhere remotely in that, you got to think about what this nut job is doing. And I mean it. I mean, oh, well, but he's the Pope. Yeah, but for, you know, 1,500 years, this has been okay. And now this one guy, he didn't confer with an ecumenical council. He didn't bring in a conference of cardinals and they discussed it. He made up his mind to change it. Shouldn't this be like a group thing? Just saying. Well, he's proven to be wrong in so many other ways. Shouldn't we get together? Isn't that what all the cardinals are there for? To go, hold on, Popey Pope. I don't know if that's really, you know, hi, Miss Deborah. Good to see you. So the insanity part. So we're looking towards, I am, and I know all of you are, and many folks out there, they're seeking, quote, the truth. But in seeking the truth, what they're seeking actually is sanity. Yeah, it's the truth, but what this truth will set you free. I can have a whole bucket of truth right here, but what good does it do me unless I read it, unless I accept the truth? And so, but if I have a big box of truth in front of me, what's the reason for it? Well, I want to know the truth. But why? Because not knowing the truth is creating insanity within us all. Breaking Dawn, we've discussed this before. So many years, people have said we were crazy. And now, but other people who have experienced things like we are, now we're not so nuts. Now there are other people who are going, holy crap, I've had that too. Oh, me too. You mean you had, oh, holy crap, me too. Oh, holy crap. So instead of us being crazy, like the rest of them wanted us to be, it's all of a sudden now there are a lot of people out there. And maybe we were fighting to contain our sanity. I know I was. They kept saying, well, what you're saying, you don't see those things. You took pictures of orbs. Oh, no, you didn't. But yes, I did. Oh, no, you didn't. But I did. Here's the pictures of the orbs. You doctored the drawing. You doctored the picture. But I didn't. This one's got a fairy in it. That's not a fairy. It's a giant bug. It was 60 degrees. Bugs weren't flying. It was 3 a.m. I'm sorry, but no, that's not a bug. Especially when there's 150 orbs in the same picture. Oh, well, those aren't orbs. Those are, aberrations of the flash and the lens. I see orbs. I experience them. I'm there sitting on the bank. I was there last night, actually, and it was just too weird. I didn't want to get out. But anyway, um, um, but the idea that in my own experience, and I know many of you, that we're seeking sanity by understanding what the truth is. And I'm going to use Dante's name in that for those who say, well, I don't understand what he's showing me. It's not necessarily the point. It's the point that there's another point of view out there. There's something else that's been hidden by way bunch of folks. And the least you can do is go, let me think about this. Is this possible? Could there be a whole nother story that we haven't heard? Okay, my point to this is, here's El Popo changing the Bible, now changing the Lord's Prayer, and in 40 years, those other people, all of us, maybe dead, who knows, are not going to know what this reality was that we're going through right now. They don't understand my childhood and me reading the Bible in front of the congregation on Sundays. Several times, many Sundays, I would do 2 or 3 masses. And I'm not bragging. It was just fact. Somebody didn't show up or they went to an earlier mat. They had to go play golf is what it was. But anyway, and I didn't mind because I was already there. And at the time, and I still feel this way, I was speaking the word of God. I was reading the Gospels. I was reading and prophesizing or whatever through my reading to the congregation. And I felt this is what I need to do. And then they changed the Bible on me. And then they tell me that don't matter. And what you read, you got to throw out. And that all you did in your past and all those feelings and everything you thought. Now, when I read this new version of the Bible, I want to puke and go, God's got to be pissed about this. If you believe in the God and the church and the thing, I don't think he's really happy about this because it's creating more insanity. When it's time to bring our spirits together, about the shaman. Every one of us is a shaman. If you go to church and you pray, you're a shaman. So for those people who say, well, shamanism, that represents paganism, stop it. Okay. They've got a very, very, very narrow view because they haven't done their research. And many years ago, there were people who said, you're a shaman. I was like, don't use that word on me. Because those people that I had seen who called themselves shamans were these plastic, I burned some sage and I've got a crystal and now I'm a shaman. No. Sorry. A crystal and sage does not make you a shaman. And the idea that some of these people are saying, well, I took mushrooms and I had an experience and now I'm a shaman. What did you learn? Well, I don't know. It's really trippy. And okay, so as a shaman, if you go tripping in the light fantastic in the spiritual world, you should be able to come back and give some kind of something about your experience. You should be able to relate to us something that is of some value, even though it may be small. There should be a little bit of intrinsic value in your experience. Otherwise, why are you sitting here blabbing on? Ayahuasca and mescaline and peyote and mushrooms and okay, but all right, no, what happened? What did you see? What did God tell you? Oh, it's so cool and the experience. But okay, hang on. What did Spirit tell you? What did Spirit show you? Oh, so the experience and then oh, come on. Oh, can't wait to do it again. You mean you can't wait to go get high again and blame it or use the excuse that you're going to talk to God? Let's be, some of these folks that I've listened to, I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't take you guys. Oh, but we're experiencers and all you old people don't know what you're talking about. Wait a minute. I've tripped over 500 times and I'm not bragging. That's sad. But in my drug days with acid and LSD, which is supposed to be the same, and with peyote, real peyote, and mescaline and mushrooms. Oh my God, I lived beside a mushroom field for 6 years. I could literally go out and pick them almost daily. And people try to, oh, Dave, you don't know what you're talking about. You've never had, oh, shut up. But this isn't bragging about that, though. But it's people who will say, they'll criticize me when they have not a clue the experience I've had in speaking with higher spirits or in the higher realms or speaking with elementals. And they say, you were just high. Well, that's true, but it was a controlled high. I knew what I was doing. I was doing ceremony. I was prepared. I wasn't off tripping loud music, blah, blah, blah. No, I went there to meditate and speak to the elementals and to whatever higher spirits are there. I went specifically for that a long time before a lot of other people ever thought it was cool to do. So anyway, yes, I do have a lot of experience. And I've told some of these people, listen, you want to trip? You need a guide. Did you have a guide? Oh, no, we just went out and did it. Well, okay, then what'd you learn? Well, can't talk about it, but blah, 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 blah. Oh, then what good did it do you? That was just an excuse for you to go out and get blistered. Okay, is there anything wrong with that? No, you had good intent. But at the same point, you come back on and you've got 10,000 viewers talking about how cool it was when you really have no message to back it up with. That's just more insanity. So other people will go, oh, I want to try that too, when nobody's got a clue as to why, who, where, what. And, maybe they should have a guide. Maybe they should have a lesson plan before they go off and do this stuff. Maybe they should have someone with experience who isn't tripping to say, okay, let's calm you down. What's going on? To be a guide, a spiritual guide into these other realms. Nope, haphazard. Here we go. And then when they do see something, yeah, it sounds like I'm trash mouthing them bad, don't it? But it's that they think that a couple of trips out into the wherever they go is like they are the spiritual advisors for the entire planet. But you haven't advised me spiritually yet. I've listened to your shows. I listened to your thing. I've been involved in your chat rooms, and you guys ain't got a clue, in my opinion, because you haven't had the experience. You didn't go with a shaman. You weren't guided in what you were to do and how to do it. Was the experience bad? I'm not trashing that or anything like that. I'm just saying that now all of a sudden that makes them these guru smudge with thing, got a crystal, and oh my God, now I've tried ayahuasca. I'm a true spiritual being. I'm sorry. You're still in kindergarten from a shaman's point of view. Just saying. I wish them luck. I continue to pray for these folks. The creator will step in and go, you guys need to quit this nonsense. You've got to quit this nonsense, because they are helping to create the insanity. We need to look for sane things. Is the world round? No, it's flat, and we live under a globe. All right, you want to go there, and people, that big thingies or whatever. Fine. I look up, I see a round moon. Is it a disc? Is it flat? Okay. I've had my own binoculars, telescopes, got a telescope right there. And I've observed these things. Things in the universe are round. Just say it. Now, so I just assume because the rest of the universe looks a similar way, I live on a round planet. Oh, but we're going to argue about this and we're going to spend time and tell everybody else that doesn't believe in the flat earth that the rest of us nutcases are nutcases, that we are the ones insane. When I look at my natural world and I see round things all around me and go, but wait a minute, that's not flat. It appears to be flat. And anyway, enough of that. But to the point though, they're trying to steal what is obvious to many of us in our own natural surroundings, which is what a shaman should do. Look at natural surroundings. Look at a tree. It's got roots. It's got this. Its cells look like that. It does the thingy. It talks to okay. But how many, if you talk to trees, you're a tree hugging hippie. I'm sorry. I'm 67 years old. I am an official tree hugging hippie. I had to cut 2 down the other day and it hurt me deeply. But they were taking over my garden. I should have cut them out years ago. But now I had to cut them down and it hurt me to cut those trees down as much as it did to cut them down, the trees themselves. But if you want to understand that what spirituality is, it includes all things. So the guys earlier who bad mouthing baby boomers, why am I not included now in your realm of thought? Now, anytime that, well, you're a baby boomer, you fit in this category. Well, then I'm just going to unsubscribe because now you won't even allow me to fit in your paradigm. I can allow you to fit in mine because you have an opinion. Okay, we can have an opinions. I haven't mentioned their names, by the way, but to the point though, see, that's my respect. I will talk about the subject without trying to nail these guys, okay, and make it sound like I'm a vendetta again. No, it's not just these 4 guys. It's these 4 guys plus all the other people who are listening. It's for us old people, it's the millennials, it's the Y people, it's the younger set. Well, I've got 2 granddaughters, and the older granddaughter went into the Navy, got out of the Navy with a honorable discharge, is making something of herself, but her sister is in prison. So, are all of those folks in that age category bad? No. My oldest granddaughter joined the Navy. The youngest, a pole dancer. And I don't mean in Poland. But and takes pictures of herself and all this. Now she's in a women's prison. Decisions. I coached them both. I told them both things. Listen, if you're going to do that, at least use your nutter about it. Like, for example, I told kids years ago, listen, if you're going to get drunk, go somewhere and stay there. Don't go out riding the roads and be drunk. Okay. And I could have gotten in trouble years ago because I'd say, listen, if you want to get drunk, go party on someplace on my property. Don't let me know you're doing it. Because I would much rather you be down in the woods, all a little campfire and with your little cars and stuff and drinking and partying and passing out instead of being somewhere else and getting in trouble and on the road or killing yourselves or other people or whatever. Oh, but I was criticized. You mean you harbored youngsters? Yeah, because they were out riding around getting drunk. What was I supposed to do? Well, take the bottle away. Well, they're just going to get it from someplace else. I would rather say be responsible. Go over there, give me your keys, and okay, if you're going to drink, at least I know you're safe. Oh, but I did wrong. Oh, I contributed to the delinquency. No, I didn't buy it. In fact, there were times I was like, give me that bottle. You ain't drinking this. But at the same point, I mean, they were 17 years old, almost 17, 18, seniors in high school kind of thing way back when. But the idea is that they were going to do it regardless. And it wasn't like there were 50 people here, but there were 7 or 8, sometimes 10. But the idea was that if you got to do it, be safe. My youngest granddaughter, not so much. What does this mean about the spirituality part? Seek the truth. Why? So that you can become sane again. Seek the truth. Why do people want to, their Akashic record and all this stuff? Why do they want to know, the ancient builder race and this group and the Anunnaki and all that? Well, that's all really cool. But the thing is that there are so many lies woven into the truth, as Dante has presented to us many times, in that we need to just look at the information. And I've mentioned this many times. You got to look at the chaos. If you're standing in the chaos and the fighting all around you, then you can't help but be a part of the chaos. But if you take 10 steps back and they're fighting over there, and and you're literally watching from the sidelines, fighting is, but I'm thinking fist fight, bar fight, if it's going on, the best thing for you to do is get the hell out of there. And they go, well, why didn't you stop it? When there's 10 drunk rednecks, you don't stop a fight. You let it wear down. You jump in that mess, you're going to get killed, hurt. No. I've had people turn on me because I was like, why are you guys fighting? And both sides fought me. And I'm like, there are times when you just need to shut up and watch. Anyway. But you have to take a step back from the chaos. And in the chaos, there is a harmony. I've done videos about this. And in that and I use the Hallelujah chorus. I want to say it's Handel, but I'm not sure. But anyway, don't quote me on that one. But there are so many different parts to it. And when I was growing up in Catholic Church, we had to take choir. So we're learning this, right? And in the choir loft, it sounds like crap. But downstairs, it sounds great because I'm standing next to a soprano and I'm an alto too. So we're singing different parts at the same time and we're touching shoulders. And that's hard to do, to keep singing your part without messing up the other person. And there were times when we could look at each other and I would know that I was singing their part. And there were times when they were kind of singing our part. But it was the harmony of the total of the choir that made the song and the rest of the church filled with this glorious music. And we were, at the time, there were a lot of people who, applauded our choir. We were asked to sing at different places, and which was very nice. But the idea is, though, from a choral standpoint, we as human beings, I know there's some of us that are alien hybrids and all that. Let's just stick with the premise that if we're on this planet, we're kind of sort of in the human category versus being on Mars. That would make me a Martian. Okay, I'm an Earthling. So I'm an Earthling here. So most of us Earthlings want to get along, but there are these insanity things between us. Like these guys this evening, preaching all baby boomers are crazy and none of us know how to work a computer. That's the kind of mindset that we need to stop that right there. Stop it dead in the tracks and go, you guys are wrong. And maybe I should do a separate video and call them out on it and go, do you know what you guys do? That's not a bad idea, they're telling me. But I hate to pick on somebody. But with all these people who are listening in, listen, I supported you until today, and here's why. So just saying, we need to stop these people and say, well, wait a minute, some of this group, how can we all come together as human beings? You're an alto, you're a soprano, you're a bass. Bass can't sing out. A soprano may be able to hit a bass note, but probably not. So why can't we get together as the Earthlings and work together on this? People say, well, why don't the people in China understand how I feel? Because they're Chinese, stupid. I look at some of these people, well, how come they don't get where we're coming from? Because they're Chinese. Yeah, but they don't understand what it's like to be down here in South Georgia. And I know, because they're Chinese. Have you ever did a thing and saw what, the Chinese do, like the countryside and the mountains and the tears and the Have you ever done? Oh, I just think that's just bullshit. Well, then how can, if you don't even want to stop and think about what the Chinese believe or understand or how they live, how can you expect them to understand your South Georgia redneck ways? Oh, I knew that's just how we do it down here in the South. Yeah, okay. I got lots of friends that talk just like that. Trust me. And they talk even worse when they get a six pack under them. And no, PBR is not rampant down here in redneck Georgia, But anyway, people think that all rednecks drink PBR. Nah, don't even go there. Some of them are highfalutin and drink Michelob, but just saying. But now, so to the sanity part of the shamanism, all the truth that we keep seeking is to help our vibrations feel natural, to make us feel sane. Well, wait a minute. It's like Miss Deborah and I, when we first started chatting, it was like somebody else gets some of this weird stuff that nobody else wants to even acknowledge that could possibly exist. And now there are other people who are like, Hawkeye, man, I've had a very similar experience. And yes, I believe you because I've had a similar experience. So this thing about spirits, this thing about orb, things about etherical things about spiritual things about the universe. I've had visits from angels too that have appeared right in front of me, and nobody would believe me. I believe you because I can tell in your eyes that, my God, an angel appeared right there. And you can't, if somebody says, oh, I had an angel visit me once. What? There's no excitement. There's no expression. But when you meet somebody that says, I had an angel appear to me. I saw an angel. I was near death. They had to hit me with the paddle. I was in surgery and I died. And this angel came to me and said, it's not time for you to go yet. A dear friend of mine just told me this 2 months ago. And he's not necessarily a spiritual person, although he goes to the Occoquan Baptist Church. But to the idea, though, that he understands that there's more to life than just this stuff. And after having that experience, he has had a chat with an angel. And you can see it in his face, in his voice. But then there are people who say, well, I talk to the angels all the time, but, they're talking this or that. And I'm going, hang on, wait. I got a connection with my spirit guide, angel, spirit guide, guardian, anyway. And I've been listening for a long time. And none of the information that I get from over here has been wrong. The only thing that's been wrong, the time. In other words, they say this is going to happen soon. Well, soon to them and soon to me is two different things. Soon is like in 10 minutes. A little later on is like, okay, tomorrow, the next day. But so this idea of time, of all the things that I've been not misled, it's been my own judgment call when they say, well, this is going to happen soon. Soon could be 10 years to them. Okay. So the idea of time is really a nasty construct in the reality of the universe. So in some of these folks who are, done this ayahuasca thing and they're all spiritually stuff, they talk about these dimensional times and things and ins and outs and goings on and stuff. But they really, in their talking about it, it doesn't really make any sense to me. And I'm really trying because I'm hoping there's somebody out there who gets a little bit of inkling of just part of what I have been shown and know. Now, I try to share this with you and people have said, listen, it's your enthusiasm, it's your honesty that made me subscribe to your channel. Thank you to the creator. Thank you, spirits. That's the whole point. When Mother Mary told me to do this 2-3 years ago, she told me, said, you just got to be you. My hair, I washed my face and I got on deodorant, but you can't tell. But the idea, though, that, and I made a comment before, if I'd known that Dante was going to upload my video, I would have put on makeup. Now that's an actor's thought. Oh, if you're going to take a picture of me, let me put on my makeup and so I'm not shining. Let me comb my hair. That's the idea. And as an actor and a director for many, 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 many years, and as a traveling puppeteer, You have to put on your game face. Well, but Mother Mary told me that morning, you got to go just as you are, Hawkeye. People got to see you in your house, in your chair, making what Dante called a testimonial. And it was, but it was meant for him and for my subscribers to say, listen, I can't explain it what it is about DSAHK. You got to go find out for your own. But I'm here to say that I understand certain things. They resonate with me. I hope they do with you. If not, that's okay. And so my personal message to Dante was, if you don't think there's any of us out here, there are those of us who are the silent 72. And within 2 or 3 days of the video coming out, guess what? There were 144 likes to only 1 thumbs down to his video. Now, it was me on his video on his channel. The point of that is, though, that was double the 72, 144. Oh, holy crap. So, and yeah, that's a number in itself, but it may be more than that. But at the time, I thought to myself, to have gotten 72 thumbs up means there are 72 other people that feel the same way I do. We may not qualify for the first team, but man, if you need somebody out there blocking for the kicker or for the punt team or something, I'm there. If special thing, I'm there. Somebody gets hurt, throw me in, coach. I'm ready to play. So, and that so many other people and many of you have responded and subscribed to my channel. And what can I say? But oh my gosh, holy cow, none of which I had anticipated. I simply wanted to make a statement to the universe in a shaman's point of view. Let me speak this to the universe. Let me send this with intention. Let me send this with the guidance of my spirit guides, guardian angel, however you want to look at it, and a message from Mother Mary. Hawkeye, you need to do this right now, just the way you are. What does this have to do with the rest of this? It has to do with trust. It has to do with sincerity. It has to do with honesty. It has to do with the truth. But the bottom line, why is all of that important? It's so that we can regain our own spiritual sanity. We don't know what's real or not anymore. And there are things that aren't real in this 3D realm, but that truly exist. And you got to say, well, fairies don't exist. Well, okay. And you don't have to, well, okay, you don't believe it. Oh, okay. But the thing is, in the shaman realm, all things are possible. And the more you understand that it is possible rather than not, then you can accept even more spiritual awareness. There are some of these people, like in the early video, all of us baby boomers fit in a box now, in their opinion. So therefore, it's like, so anything coming from the boomer era is just going to go away because they've already made up their minds. As a shaman, that's one thing you can't do. You got to make up your mind that all things are possible. You just have to just sit back. You don't have to make a decision. You just have to accept it. Last night, 12 o'clock in the morning, a giant fish being chased by an alligator dives in the kayak with me. Did I ever think that was possible? Oh, hell no. Did it happen? Yeah, I wish I could have taken a picture, but it was not picture worthy jumping around in the middle of the swamp in the middle of the night with a giant fish and an alligator nearby. Just not the thing. But the whole point to that exercise and to what happened to me is, when you least expect it. And the truth is, did it kill me or anything? No, but it scared the crap out of you. Yeah, but also it brought this other awareness to sanity, So why do we want to know about our Akashic record? Why are all these people searching? And here, let me put this to you too. What does this have to do with the bottom line? It's our sanity. So when you look at something that's making you insane, as a shaman, you have to go, whoop. First thing you do is you step back and you got to look at point A, point B, and there might only be 2 people fighting. But I will bet you there's another reason point A and B are fighting. One might say, well, you talked about my girlfriend. And the other one's like, no, you hit my car. Whatever. Between the two of them, they've got issues somewhere else, which creates a third paradigm. It's not just him. It's not just him. They're both fighting. That creates one. Now they're together. That's a two. But between their thoughts and what else is going on is even a third paradigm that you can't visually see. Well, wait a minute. Well, Hawkeye, what the hell are you talking about? I'm talking about the fact that you can see two people fighting. That's a visual. You can go over there and touch them and they'll punch you if you get in the way. You can tell one, two, I'm just using two people, one, two people, but the fight creates a third incident. Okay. In reality, in the spiritual realm, in the bigger picture of things, it creates a third reality. But their thoughts, which are kind of commingled in this chaos of the fight. And you can use this analogy with the fight. These guys were fighting on their channel about all of us people being baby boomers. You know, the fight was we're all a bunch of dummies. Okay. Fight two people. Okay. It's just two causes, two things. All right. But the fight then creates a third entity. And within that entity is an even more. There's what they're thinking. There's this guy's pissed off because somebody run a red light and now they picked a fight. So he's having a previous anger being brought forward. And both of them probably do. Otherwise, they wouldn't be fighting because there's so much anger built up that that's where they end up. That creates an even fourth or possibly a fifth paradigm. When you step back and look at the situation, there's just two people fighting. Is that true? No. There are so many other things to look at. So if you just see two groups fighting, you're not paying attention. There are underlying issues. To two guys fighting in a bar. This guy will say, well, you know, my girlfriend pissed me off and then he got to me and I just couldn't stand it. Guess what? There's more to this story than just two guys exchanging blows. Why? The background of this one, the background of that one. Gee, does that make sense? Because to a lot of people, it's just two guys fighting. It's just the Democrats and the Republicans. It's just two factions. And neither one are seeking sanity. They're both trying to overpower the other one with their point of view. Now, I'm here to say, listen, watch this. Because in my reality as a shaman, you are taught to take steps back and observe. They may both be right for why they're fighting. And you go, well, one guy's better than it. But their motives and their whatever, both of these guys could have valid reasons. But is the fight valid? Is the conflict valid? Well, but they're doing it. Yeah, but is it valid? Well, what do you mean? Well, that's just semantics. No, is it? Do they have to fight? If he's pissed off at his girlfriend and this guy, he was pissed off for some other reason. Both of them have been drinking. And I've seen so many of these in bars and stuff because I used to do some stints with a guitar and puppets in the bar. And a friend of mine was a bartender. So I've seen this kind of stuff, right? Had to pull people apart and get in between and get socked a few times and, you know, trying to, you know, stop a huge bar fight from going on, you know, paid the price with a black eye myself. So I speak from this from experience. But when you see the two people, it's like, wait a minute, let me go over here and just say, you know what? Such and such, and blah, 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 blah. Change the subject. And I go, what are you talking about? I don't know. And then somebody else will go over there. And we called it distraction. So the two guys who were fixing to go to blows, you distract each one of them. And just distract them enough for about a minute or so. And then well, I was mad and I was going to punch that guy's lights out. They got distracted. So you could stop a fight. If you could see it brewing, if you can step back from a situation and watch these goings on and go, how can I affect a change? Well, if you see this guy's more pissed than this guy, but this guy's going to, you know, stand up for his girl or his valor or whatever, you know, then go see what you can do to like calm this one down. And it might be just go over there and bump into the guy. listen, I overheard something, blah, 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 totally insane that has nothing to do with the guy. And the guy will go, well, I don't know what you're talking about. Get out of my way. I'm pissed at this guy. Well, but I heard something, 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 and you distract them. And then a couple of minutes goes by, that incident now, it's still kind of touchy, but they're not fighting. So my job as a shaman in this world, in this reality, is to try to show people, listen, do you see that over there going on? That's I'm pissed off about the radio program earlier. These guys should know better. And I should know better than, I haven't mentioned their names yet, but, because I've got more respect for them than obviously they do for boomers. But the idea is, though, that we got to call these folks out and go, I'm sorry, but that's inappropriate. Thunder, ooh, in the distance, but it's there. Okay, cool. We could use rain. We're in a drought right here. I got to say, though, that the clouds today, it was in like 80 degrees outside, where it was 101 2 weeks ago. So, I'm gonna take the lower temperatures and the cloud cover, even though the best we got was a light sprinkle. I take it, and I thank Creator for that. But back to my current subject. The all of what's going on is a result of the insanity that's brought upon us. When we seek the truth within ourselves, all different ways, we're seeking sanity. Because if you knew the truth about 9/11, then wouldn't that kind of settle you? It wasn't a bunch of guys who couldn't fly airplanes. I mean, guys who fly airplanes, the Pilots Association, there was 600 and some odd pilots or something that said, no, you can't fly an airplane like what happened in 9/11. You can't do it. It's physically impossible for a jet to do those things. Pentagon, same thing. You can't fly an airplane that low and only leave a hole the size of it did, with no wings, no fuselage, no engines, no tail section. All that was gone at the Pentagon. They claimed they dug a hole and buried it. You buried an entire airplane with people on it. You got to look at stuff and go, what is the truth here? They, right in front of you, as a puppeteer, I used to do little feats of magic, and people I would literally disappear. I had teachers who would say, Dave, you brought this puppet out, and as soon as you brought that puppet out, I didn't see you anymore. He said, I knew you were there, but I didn't see you. I wasn't aware that you were there doing the puppets. And I was visible, I had a thing up to here, but the top part of me and my arms are doing the puppets thing, and people would go, I forgot you were there. I didn't disappear, but in their minds they did. I disappeared in their minds. But physically, I was still present. I was the one doing the puppets, but I forced myself into the puppets, which forced them to look down and forget I was there. So can this happen? Yeah. It's the old sleight of hand trick. They show it to you right in front of your face and then go, but that's not true. What? Wait a minute. Okay. What would that information do to us or do for us? It would make us sane. It would make us go, I never felt right about that. And now that I really see the truth, people are really, really talking about the truth. It hits me right here, and I feel sane. I feel sanity. I have confidence back in myself. I knew something was up. I knew they weren't telling me the truth. I knew it. So it is a truth movement, but this revelation, that too, a little slip of the tongue there, but this revolt towards sanity is only picking up speed. And to confuse us, confuse the issue, to try to, and even amongst groups who are truth seekers, these guys I'm talking about, they're all the time talking about, putting the truth out there. But they're in themselves are spreading lies. So the truth is even worse. Their truth is worse than reality. they're making up a truth in their own realm and paradigm that all us boomers are bad. This has got to stop. That's more insanity. And they want to blame us for being stupid. You guys, what did you just do? I know I'm really harping on this, and it really hit me hard today. But that's what we're confronting. It's more insanity from the truth seekers. I keep telling folks, listen, these guys are over here. And I've talked about the Red Road, and that in the Native American traditions, the Red Road, Native American, red, Indian, blah, blah, blah. Also, if you're from South Georgia, red roads are, rains around here. You're stuck. You're on a clay road, red road. But so anybody who seeks higher spiritual involvement, evolving, raising your vibration, whatever you want, you're a shaman. That's bottom line. Without any type of ceremony or drumming or owning a crystal, if you're trying to find a higher level of spirituality, you are a shaman in that in that respect, because of what you wish and your intent. Now, those folks I talk about shamanism, but I don't start my video and go, "Hi, I'm Hawkeye Two Feathers. I'm your shaman for the day." No, because I'm still a shaman in training. I still am learning things. And any true shaman would never say, well, that's it. I got it all. No, because they understand that death was going to be the next journey. They were given the opportunity to see what it's like on the other side. But we got to stay in this life as long as possible, because it's our duty to stay here and be profitable, in that I plant a garden, profitable in that I try to speak to other people and give a different point of view to help you think about, listen, what about this idea? Are these guys truth seekers? If they're going to tout that all us baby boomers are crazy idiots, are they seeking the truth? No, they're lying. They're lying to themselves. How can I explain it? I don't know. Maybe do a video and call them out individually and put it in the title block and say UKV and UJJ and UBB and URJ. I don't know if those are the true letters or not. I'm just tossing crap out there. But the idea, though, that these people who are the truth seekers proposing and prophesying to the world that they're bringing truth out have just called themselves a liar, because they don't seek the truth. If they wanted to seek the truth, they'd talk to a few of us baby boomers, but they don't. They keep it within their own little clique. We have to stop that. Me as a baby boomer, I got to look at young people and go, not all young people are bad. And they have proven it to me time and time and again. So when I look back, like my grandmother did to me, she gave me the benefit of the doubt. She goes, David, you might be right. David, you might be right. She took her intuition and was like, Grandma, wouldn't this be easier? Well, try it and see, but my mother, on the other hand, which was my grandmother's daughter, Grandma would go, listen, David's got a good idea. Leave him alone. So even with his families, her own daughter, she didn't agree with. But she agreed with me, because there was a naturalness between me and Granny. Now, but so this idea, though, goes forward to all things. Just because somebody doesn't agree with you doesn't mean that you're your enemy. It's all right for these guys to have a different point of view. But at the same point, do they actually know what they did? In speaking about truth, they actually stated a falsehood. Should I call them on it? Should you call them on it? Should we, make a big deal out of this and start a fight? Should we create a third entity? This person over here, these four guys against me, actually, in this particular instance. So it'd be a 4-to-1 battle, but they're all set their ways. So whatever I say to these idiots, in my opinion, they've already got their mindset. So if starting a fight they would only gang up with each other to say, see, we told you what an idiot these baby boomers were. They would literally turn what I would try to say that they were wrong in including all of us, they would stand up and go, see, there's a good example of why baby boomers are idiots. And that would be that. And so everybody their age group goes, yeah, see, he was right. We just proved him right. So with me fighting about this or starting an altercation or calling them out, actually do any good? That's why I haven't mentioned anybody's name. I don't think it would. Speaking on the subject, absolutely. The shaman part of this, I keep going back to this. You got to step back from the chaos. You got to go, wait a minute, something else is going on here. So I would want to ask these guys, maybe this is a different point of view now that I'm calmed down some, is why did you guys pick on baby boomers? Do you think all of us are idiots? Or is that just, you were just running your mouth and you were all like, yeah, all baby boomers are slop? Wait a minute. Then all people from Scotland are boozers, drunks, and, and can't speak right. And then all people from the UK then are a bunch of hoity-toity blah, blah, blahs. Then all people from, here we go. We can go off on this tangent. I want to bring us together. This is disharmony. Truth seekers actually seeking their own specific truth. If you are a shaman like I am, all truths could be possible, depending on the time, depending on the parallel universe, depending on circumstances, issues, or whatever. But in their mind, the biggest thing I've got against this is that there's no room in their paradigm for my way of thinking. In my paradigm, I get it. I understand where they're coming from, but they don't understand where I'm coming from because I'm from the group that they're against. And I'm not trying to call blah, 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 blah. But you and I, we as a group, now I could go in there and do a really nasty response and start a firestorm. Is that what I need to do? Should I call them out? Should I just unsubscribe and go, or is that even fair? Right now, my anger says I want to just, jump up and down and scream at these guys and go, you guys were idiots. What in the hell was your purpose in what you did? Do you know how many thousands of people you just alienated and possibly pissed off or otherwise? Do you know? Or do you care? Are all this awareness you guys are touting, is it really actually there? Or are you just spouting, look how aware I am. I think the Pope's an idiot. So that makes you, did you ever go to Catholic school? No. Did you ever study the Catholicism? No. Do you understand what the church? No. Do you know what a Jesuit is? No. Do you want to give up? No. But you have all these wonderful views about this when you ain't got a lick of sense yourself, and you're claiming that you're the ones that people should listen to. Okay. And I'm saying we got to stop this insanity. We all want the same thing. Even these guys that put me in their little category, they are seeking the truth, but they're seeking it with like this. Well, I don't know. All baby boomers must be bad. Maybe not, but they've already made up their mind. How can you do that? As a shaman, you got to go, wait a minute. Some of what these guys said was true. There are people within my age bracket that have done some crappy things. Not all of us. Maybe 10% of us baby boomers have been involved in crappy shit. But not all of us feel that way. Not all of us believe that. Not all of us are a bunch of non-compliant computer stuff. Computers have changed from but the thing is that I'm still using the information. I figured out a glitch the night before last. Took me 4 hours, but I fixed my computer. I didn't get help from some young snot that claims he knows everything. No, In fact, the young snots I asked, they didn't know the answer. I learned it on myself from my own experience. Duh, I'm a stupid, 67-year-old baby boomer who don't know how to use a computer. Yeah. Wow, there's some more thunder. Wow, we must have a storm in the area. Come on, rain. We need an inch of rain at least. I'll take a quarter inch. We need rain bad, 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 bad right here. Anyway, so it's gonna have to smoke a cigarette, smoke a joint, drink 2 cups of coffee to calm down from that nonsense. But anyway, I really like these guys. I'm like, they bring up topics and they talk about stuff, and I like them and I like them, and now all of a sudden it's like they took a nail gun and shot it at me, several times, plow, 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 with 16 penny nails, like what? Wait a minute. I want to bring everybody together. How can we together? We're all earthlings. Okay, so maybe we're not true human beings. We may be alien hybrids or something. If you believe the idea that Pleiadians, I've got blue eyes. Okay, so does that make me Pleiadian? I don't know. Do I have that trait, that gene? Possibly. Does it mean I'm a hybrid of some kind? I don't know. I know I've known things about Pleiades and stuff as a child that nobody else has been able to explain to me, and I'm learning over time. So am I from there? Are my ancestors from Pleiades? I don't know. I got a good feeling inside that, yeah, I've had some experiences where they told me to go outside and I've seen some things in the sky. I've talked to you all about them. So, but am I a Pleiadian? Don't know. I'll find out. But here's the thing. Regardless of whether or not I am, isn't the issue. The issue is whether or not I believe in the spirit. The idea of the Pleiadians, they were good beings, they were helpers, they were healers. I'm with that. Same thing with the cause and what Dante talks about, the cause. In my opinion, the cause is, quote, the Christ consciousness. I'm going to do a separate video on this, but I'm going to wrap it up with this thought. The cause for me is earthlings. Okay, human beings, we can toss that around, but I'm going to say earthlings. We as earthlings, many of us don't want to fight. Many of us want to get along. I want to go to Italy and taste some real Italian food, not go to some thing that's got Italian food on the menu. I want to go to Greece. I would like to go to France, but for different reasons. But I'd like to go to England and Scotland. And learn about Celts and so I would like to go to Russia. Oh my God, you want to go to Russia? Yeah, there's something about the people of Russia that there is the spirit of the motherland, and there are twice as many Americans as there are Russians, and people who think that the Russians want America, we're full. That's nonsense. It's like Putin has said years ago. Why would we want to attack America? They've got 10 times as many guns per person as the Russians do, and there's twice as many Americans as there are Russians. Why would we want to pick a fight with them? It's stupid. They could send half of their country over here and literally overrun us. But everybody's against the Russians. More lies, more this, more that. We're all seeking sanity. And I say, you go talk to a tree, it will help bring you sanity. When you ask for Mother Nature, when you ask the universe for understanding and things, sometimes like that giant fish jumping in my boat last night got me to understand that all things are possible. Can giant fish come out of the night and land in your lap in your boat? Yeah. Is it possible? Until last night, I'd went, nope. After 60 years of being on the river in the swamps and canoeing, first time. Could it happen? Probably not. Did it happen? Absolutely. So in my realm, all things are possible. Don't want some of these things. But the thing is, though, If I can step back as a shaman would and look at the bigger picture of things and go, maybe they're trying to pull me in for a fight, like them bitching out the baby boomers. Maybe they were looking for a fight. They got to fight because I did a video. I turned their video off to bitch about theirs. Just saying. So yeah, I can get my way back, and I could list them who they were and all that kind of stuff, and I could start a bitch war. But the idea, though, that I would have to go down to their level, and I don't want to. I want to stay up here and go, shame on you guys. That wasn't nice. You know, can you even see how you hurt my feelings or any of my friends of my age? Do you understand our point of view? Or do you just understand it from your point of view and that's as far as you want your thinking to go? If you wish to be spiritually and learn, you must accept, bottom line shamanism, you got to accept there's things you cannot see. And do you accept, well, somebody says, I saw a ghost over there. Did you see it? Maybe not. But can I believe that this person saw it? Yes. Can I believe that there may be a ghost that exists? Yes. Did I see it? No. But I can believe in those other two factors. So it's like maybe they saw it. And I have friends that can see ghosts and who speak to them. And I've later on have kind of sort of taken pictures of their orbs. I did a video about the things that happened when I was in Ohio years ago, and the orbs and the messages I got from the beings who were there. And it's like, do you believe me? I believe me. It was happened. Here's the orbs. They were all, blue, of varying shades of blue. You've seen pictures of me recently where I've showed the orbs on the on the Ochlockonee River. They were all different colors, not all the same color like the pictures that would happen from the petroglyphs there in Ohio. And it's like different. So it's like, oh, but all things are the same. No, 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 no. You got to leave an open mind. Now, what comes in may be false, but there may be a smidgen of truth, as Dante has shown us for a long time. In this falseness is truth. And the chaos, they love to weave it through the narrative. We need to step back from the chaos, see it for what it is, and say, listen, spiritually, I'm seeking for my own sanity. So if that stuff over there is making me insane, maybe what I should do is take 2 steps back and go, that's making me crazy. Now, there may be some truth in it. It may be cabal and it's crazy, pedophilia, child, blah, blah, blah. Yes, it's there. But do you need to go jump into it and swim in their garbage? Or can you take a step back and look at what the cabal does in all shame forces and whatever, and just say, them guys ain't playing nice. And just keep an eye on it. You got to keep an eye on what they're doing. They ain't playing nice. There's some crazy stuff over there. I'm going to talk about it, but I'm not going to put it in the top frame of my video and then wonder why I get trashed by YouTube and people go, oh, that guy's a conspiracy theorist. I talked about it just now, didn't I? There is truth in all things, even in the false. Because in the false, there's truth that, guess what? You believe this lie. So there's a truth that, guess what? They've been faking us out. They've been obfuscating the truth. The more that they try to cover up crap, the more people are going, wait a minute. Truth seekers are going, wait a minute, that's not true. They just covered up some more stuff. Well, wait a minute, that can't be true because I got a friend of mine who was there. Well, that doesn't seem right because we had people over here that were doing stuff and blah, 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 blah. And now, especially with the internet and so forth, now we can talk to each other and go, wait a minute, that's not what I saw. And the people who claim that, for example, 1 million pounds of chicken shit in Colquitt County, Georgia, is good for our economy and good for the surroundings and good for the ecology, has not seen the algae growing 3 feet deep in the Ochlockonee River. from their chicken shit. Farmers ain't going to look at it because they're making money. The people who work at the plant aren't going to complain about it because they got a job and they have benefits better than they've ever had before. So who's going to stand up and go, well, so you can't catch fish in the Ochlockonee River anymore? Well, that really wasn't a very good river anyway. Well, blah, 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 blah. Well, aren't jobs more important than the river? Storm's getting closer. I saw it reflecting in the corner of the thing over here. So, but anyway. So your search for truth, if you look at it yourself, is the search for sanity. And I probably said more than I should at an hour and 35 minutes. And I'm supposed to keep these short. So I am going to keep this short. I ran it on too much about the baby boomer thing. But that's the type of insanity that's creeping into the truth movement. We got to keep an eye on these folks and say, well, I don't know how I'm going to deal with this yet. But creators asking me to don't just go in and subscribe and create chaos, because that's exactly what the old me would have done. So I've got to take my own wisdom and go, listen, we need to make a comment somehow, some way that, listen, guys, do you understand what you just did? You truth movement, honesty, sincerity, and you sincerely beat the crap out of us baby boomers. Ooh. All right. We're seeking sanity. That's the truth. And the truth will set us free so that we can become sane individuals. Shamanism 101. You're seeking a spiritual higher power, whatever, you're a shaman. Regardless of your religion, you're still a shaman. In seeking the truth, you're seeking spiritual sanity. Just keep that in mind. In the back of all of this chaos that you see pouring out in front of you, remember, as a shaman, let me back away from this just a little bit and not get involved. Or maybe how I get involved is important. Not that we shouldn't, but how we get involved. Do we just bump heads and fight like hell and blood and guts and gore goes everywhere? Or do we come together and butt heads and go, listen here, you son of a bitch, you know what you did? Maybe we need to butt heads in a literatural, not literal, but literature type of way, like two groups butted heads. And anyway, I love you all. I do. Thank you. I'm going to read some of your comments now. But thank you all for understanding. And blinders, too many earthquakes in Italy. Subduction zones. I think I need you to help me with my farm collective. Cherry, however I can. Looking for persons with skills like you have. Think about it and consider. Blessings and have a good night. Mother Earth is raising the ocean level faster. Cherry, just get in touch with me. However, maybe we can do a live stream hangout thing or something. I don't know how I can help you, but I know a lot about organic gardening and stuff that's been going on around here. Whatever help I can give, I would absolutely. I'm all for anybody. I tried to start a farm cooperative here. I've got a farm. If you cooperate, come out. I'll even buy the seeds. I've got chicken manure for fertilizer. I've got, well, not quite 18 acres to farm, but I've got plenty of acreage to farm. I've got a good established garden. Just come help me work it. That's all. Just come help. I'll even give you money for gas. I need help with stuff. Do you think anybody would volunteer? But no, they'll go to the store and buy this crap and then complain. Well, I got this all organic thing. Did you know that tomato was in the freezer for the last 6 months? Well, they don't do that. It says all natural. It might be natural, but it's been sitting in the freezer until they needed it. So put it on your shelf so you could smile and say, look at this organic tomato. People just don't know. You go pick it from a plant. When I go get okra, when it starts making okra, I pick it right off the plant about that I have left. I can munch that stuff. That fresh okra is so good. Now, does it taste good in with in some tomatoes and crackers and so forth as a casserole that they make down here in the South? You betcha. But fresh off the stalk, fresh squash. Don't even take it in the house. The little ones before they get too big, I just go ahead and pick them and eat them. Why? Because if I leave them to get a little bit bigger, a bug could get them, something. But any no. And the other thing is, the bigger they get, the tougher they get. So me with fewer teeth, it's like, and why waste cooking it? Well, because some of the things go up now. Is steamed squash good? Oh yeah, with fresh onions, a little garlic on it. But the thing is though, when I go through my garden, I'm chomping, I'm eating, I'm foraging. That's what we used to do back in the caveman days. They didn't plant things because they had a whole jungle of stuff. All they had to do was walk through and munch on this one and munch on that. I do the same thing in my garden. Anyway, topic for another day. I love you all. I do. Thank you so much. I hope the rest of your weekend is blessed. I hope next week is blessed. I hope your future is blessed. Keep searching for the truth, because the truth is what's going to make us all sane again. My truth might be different from yours, but we're basically all sharing the same thing. Love foraging. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You got bunches of seeds too. Yeah, hugs back, Cherry. Blessings and night to you. So remember, we're all in this together, my brothers and sisters, whether we wish to agree on it or not. The more that we can learn how to fight, not fight against each other for the dumbest things, the better off we are. The more we seek sanity for each and every one of us, that's the share we need to do. We need to share our sanity without trying to get in a fist fight with each other. With that said, I have to reconsider my thoughts about how I'm going to handle this baby boomer thing. Maybe my video was enough. Maybe I send it to them and with a in their chat room and go, here, watch this. That might be a better thing. So, but I'll reconsider it now that my anger's down. And that's what we should all do. Before we overreact, let's take a step back and look at the chaos. I'm showing you personally. See what I almost did 2 hours ago? I got to step back from my own chaos and from the chaos I'm creating within my own self from what they said. Prime example. And I'm the it. Cheers. I love you. Night to you, Breaking Dawn as well. I'm signing off of here. Blessings to all of you. And I'll conclude with my prayer. I continue to pray that each and every one of you will accept and receive the blessings from the universe. I continue to pray that each and every one of you, your friends, your family, and all of your relations will also accept and receive the healings, the blessings, and the knowledge and the wisdom from the universe. I continue to pray that each and every one of you will accept and receive and share what you learn so that all of us can become sane again. Have a happy Sunday. Michelle, Cherry, Breaking Dawn, I love you all and blessings back to you. And thank you all for being a subscriber on my little channel. You have no idea how blessed you make me feel. So thank you all and be safe. Above all things, be safe. Keep your sanity as much as possible. And until next time, I am your humble servant, Hawkeye Two Feathers, who continues to pray for mankind. I continue to be a prayer warrior. I continue to be for the cause. Thumbs up, Dante, and cheers to all of you. Blessings and almost good morning.